Welcome to my movie recap. Today, we will highlight an action from Netflix titled Extraction. Let's get started. The movie started when a man named Tyler Rake, a former Special Forces operator, is carrying out a mission on a bridge in Bangladesh. Tyler is involved in a shootout with the gangsters, is appeared to be covered in wounds all over his body. The scene then switches to some high school in India. After school, a boy named Ovi Mahajan was seen riding a luxury car with his friends. Ovi did not immediately go home. He took the time to play with his friends. However, this makes Ovi reprimanded by Saju, the head of security and his protector. Ovi turns out to be the son of an Indian drug lord, so his safety and security are always Saju's priority. However, even though Ovi lives with a lot of wealth, he does not necessarily feel happy because his father always limits his association with his friends. One night, Ovi sneaks out of the house secretly to have fun with his friends at a nightclub. At the party, he and his friend go to the garage to have a smoke. Several corrupt police officers appeared in front of them and shot his friend, killing him immediately. After that, the police kidnapped Ovi. The next day, Saju visits Ovi's father, who is serving his sentence in a prison in Mumbai. Saju immediately informs his boss about Ovi's kidnapping. Ovi's father gets very angry with Saju for failing to carry out his duty to protect his son. Unwilling to pay the ransom as it will hurt his prestige, Ovi's father orders Saju to retrieve his son, threatening to kill Saju's own son if he is not willing to do so. Because Ovi's father is in prison, all of his assets are being frozen, so they don't have enough money to pay the ransom or hire a special forces unit to save Ovi. But it seems Ovi's father doesn't think about it and continues to urge Saju to take immediate action to save his son. Saju then discusses the matter with his wife, where he tells her that he can hire someone to save Ovi even though the fee is quite expensive. With the limited funds they have, Saju intends to carry out a plan so that he can save Ovi and not have to spend a lot. In Australia, Tyler is seen relaxing with his friends. Tyler then jumps off a cliff into a lake below. He did not immediately resurface. He chose to pause and meditate for a moment at the bottom of the lake, holding his breath and recalling his past. When Tyler returned home, he saw a helicopter in his yard where a woman named Nick Khan was waiting for him to arrive. Nick is Tyler's handler and teammate. Nick says they have a new mission: to save the son of an Indian drug lord, Ovi Mahajan, who was kidnapped some time ago. Ovi's kidnapper is known as Amir Asif, a Bangladeshi crime lord who is a rival to Ovi's father. According to information, Ovi is being held in Dhaka, Bangladesh. Hearing the name Dhaka, Tyler was reminded of his colleague named Gaspar, who also lived in the city. Nick says that Gaspar has retired. After Nick leaves, Tyler prepares to carry out his mission. On the other hand, Saju is also preparing to head to Dhaka, Bangladesh. Arriving at Dhaka, Tyler and Nick conduct a briefing with their teammates where they anticipate all possibilities to save Ovi and predict the movements of Amir. While on a mission, Tyler is contacted by Amir's henchmen and he is immediately taken somewhere. Ovi's kidnappers asked Tyler to show the ransom, but Tyler wanted to make sure Ovi was alive and well. After showing Ovi is in a safe condition, they then urged Tyler to give the ransom. At the same time, one of Tyler's comrades, who is a skilled sniper, shoots several of Ovi's kidnappers, allowing Tyler to break free and kill the others. Tyler then freed Ovi and immediately took the boy away from there. Thugs gathering some of the boys. He was accused of stealing from him. One of the boys was even dropped from the roof of a building, though he has not been proven guilty. Amir then ordered Farhad, one of the boys, to cut off 2 of his fingers because he was caught stealing. At the same time, the head of the local police, Colonel Rashid, then went to Amir and told him that Ovi had run away. Learning of Ovi's escape, Amir orders Colonel Rashid to initiate an immediate lockdown of Dhaka, securing all bridges and travel points out of the city. Turning back to Tyler, who was about to take Ovi to the pickup point, he paused to change his clothes and prepare his combat weapons while his colleagues were preparing to pick them up. On the other hand, Nick and her teammates then contacted Ovi's father's henchmen to immediately give the payment because Ovi would soon be picked up and returned to India safely. Nick asks that they transfer the money within 7 minutes. Meanwhile, Tyler's teammates, who were on their way to pick up Tyler and Ovi, got a sudden attack from someone. Several of Tyler's teammates died, including the sniper. Elsewhere, Nick and her teammates finally realized that they have been tricked because Ovi's father's henchmen failed to transfer the funds. It turns out that the person who attacked Tyler's team was Saju. He was forced to do this because they did not have enough funds to pay Tyler and his team. Saju kills Tyler's teammates and tries to kill him so he can save Ovi himself. At the same time, Colonel Rashid managed to find out where Tyler and Ovi were and immediately mobilized his men to hunt them down. Tyler then tries to avoid Saju's attack while saving himself and Ovi from the attacks of Colonel Rashid's men. In a firefight against Colonel Rashid's henchmen, Saju then appears and attacks Tyler, leading them to engage in hand-to-hand combat. Due to the chaotic situation, a car suddenly crashes into Tyler, so Saju immediately flees from there to save Ovi. He arrived just in time before Colonel Rashid's henchmen caught up and were about to take the boy away. But then Tyler came and hit Saju's body with a truck. He then told Ovi to get into the truck and they rushed away from there. When arriving at a fairly deserted road, Tyler then asked Ovi to jump out while the truck would be directed to hit something and catch fire. Tyler did it on purpose to eliminate traces. On the other hand, Saju is still alive and lost track of trying to catch Tyler and Ovi. Meanwhile, Amir, knowing that Ovi has not been found, orders Colonel Rashid to mobilize all his men to capture Ovi and kill Tyler. In the middle of the run, Tyler calls Nick and tells her the situation. Nick tells Tyler about Saju, who turns out to be a former special force like him. Nick then arranges for a helicopter to extract Tyler outside the city and tells him to abandon Ovi since the contract has been nullified. But Tyler refuses to leave Ovi behind because he's haunted by memories of his own son, whom he abandoned after he couldn't stand seeing his son have lymphoma any longer. On the other hand, Saju, who is seriously injured, calls his wife to inform her of his condition and asks her to take their son as far as possible if he fails to save Ovi. Turns back to Tyler, who refuses to leave Ovi. He was then informed of the location of the extract point on the bridge, where the helicopter would pick them up. After escaping Saju and the corrupt police and tactical units, Tyler fights off a gang of boys led by Farhad, a young criminal eager to impress Asif. Tyler calls his friend Gaspar, a retired special forces living in Dhaka. He and Ovi lay low at Gaspar's home for the evening. When Gaspar is away somewhere, Tyler engages in a conversation with Ovi, where he tells him that he once had a son who had died of lymphoma. Tyler felt guilty for neglecting his son when he needed a father figure by his side. Therefore, he does not want to make a second mistake by ignoring Ovi. Hearing the story, Ovi said that people drowned not because they fell into the river but because they chose to stay underwater. After Gaspar returns, Tyler realizes something is wrong and finally finds out that Gaspar had worked with Amir Asif. Gaspar reveals that Amir has placed a $10 million bounty on Ovi, which he offers to share if Tyler allows him to kill Ovi. Of course, Tyler refused the offer, so the two got into a fierce fight. When Tyler is desperate and Gaspar is about to kill him, Ovi appears and shoots him. Tyler then calls Saju and they both finally agreed to work together to get Ovi out of Dhaka City safely. Tyler plans to draw attention away from a disguised Saju and Ovi as the two make their way through a bridge checkpoint. The next day, Tyler starts shooting at Colonel Rashid's men to distract them from Saju and Ovi, who try to escape by car. On the other hand, Nick also prepared with her weapons to help Tyler save Ovi. Arriving at the bridge, Colonel Rashid's men were apparently already waiting there and noticed Saju's disguise. The shootout is inevitable, with Saju trying to protect Ovi while he fights Colonel Rashid's men. Elsewhere, Amir observes heavy fighting on the bridge through binoculars. He then orders Colonel Rashid to deploy additional troops to the bridge to hinder Ovi's rescue. After killing all of Colonel Rashid's men on the street, Tyler rushed after Saju and Ovi to the bridge. Nick and her remaining mercenaries approached from the opposite side of the bridge to help Tyler. They were also involved in a fierce battle with Colonel Rashid's men, who were assisted by a helicopter. Nick is finally able to bring down the helicopter, but the attack is immediately countered by Colonel Rashid, who tries to bring down the helicopter belonging to the extraction team carrying Tyler and Ovi. Colonel Rashid even managed to shoot Saju, killing him before finally being subdued by Nick, who shot him from a distance when he was about to shoot Tyler. Although his body is badly injured, Tyler still struggles to save Ovi and instructs him to run to the extraction team's landed helicopter immediately. At the same time, he kills Colonel Rashid's men alone. As a badly wounded Tyler tries to follow Ovi to the helicopter, he is shot in the neck by Farhad, and after seeing Ovi is safe, he falls into the river while recalling memories of his son. Ovi, Nick, and the extraction team finally escaped to Mumbai safely. 8 months later, Ovi is seen return to school and is about to go to the swimming pool. He jumps into his school's swimming pool to practice holding his breath, mirroring the scene where Tyler was introduced. On the other hand, Amir encounters Nick in a restroom, who promptly shoots her. The film ends with Ovi, who surfaces to see a blurred vision of a man resembling Tyler.